Hi, I'm Corbin.
And I'm Sarah. We are your hosts of CHATS. CHATS stands for conversation, humor, and topical stuff. We are a mother and son team that loves talking about everything.
We're going to be talking about pop culture, family dynamics, stuff in the news, and of course, Kanye West.
What? Really?
Just a little bit.
Let's just say there's lots to chat about. We want you to join us if you like to laugh, think, and escape your daily grind.
Check back often for the latest chats.
Okay, let's hear what you got. No, don't like that. That's better. I like that. That's the one.
Hi, I'm Corbin.
And I'm Sarah.
Welcome to the introductory episode of Chats. We want to give you an idea of what you can expect every time you listen to our podcast and why we decided to start our own podcast.
You've been listening to podcasts for a while, though, right?
Yes, I'd say for around a year and a half, actually.
What kind of stuff do you like listening to on your podcast?
Stuff like the Joe Rogan podcast and some of the bigger named ones like that, just because I like the topics they speak about and I like to hear their different opinions on those topics, and I like how the relatability of the topics.
I haven't been listening to podcasts as long as you have, but my background is like blogging, so it's the same kind of creative outlet and opinion and sharing and that type of thing. So for me, this seems to be a natural progression of that. So it's something I've been interested in doing for a while. And I think, you know, the fact that you and I talk a lot about stuff, like it's when we said in our intro there, we talk about a lot of different things, and I think that's actually how it came up in a conversation, you know, one of our car rides was, you know, that we should be, you know, sharing this and getting this out into a greater audience because there's some interesting stuff that we get talking about.
Well, we already talk about it. Might as well record it. And
that's right. Make everyone else listen to it.
Make everyone else listen to it, yeah.
So why don't you talk a little bit about yourself?
So as you all know, my name is Corbin. I'm 18, and I am into fitness, art, movies, music, current events, stuff like that. I really love mostly more media, social media type stuff.
Creative stuff.
Yeah, I'm not an outdoorsy guy or a hands-on type guy at all. As much as I try to be, not really. But I feel like that gives me a good intro to podcasting because, you know...
You always like technology, too. Yeah. You enjoy that.
But the nice thing about podcasts is that doesn't matter if you're not a handyman or if you are a handyman, there's a podcast for you, or you can create a podcast that will be accepted for you or people that want to listen to that type of stuff.
Right.
So I feel like this is going to be a great outlet for you and I.
Yeah.
And transitioning to you, I guess, about what you like and who you are.
Well, I'm Sarah. I'm 48 years old. I am a mother of two. You have a brother.
Yes.
And I'm married, your father.
Yes.
So, we have a lot of things I think that we can kind of bounce off each other, whether it's a male or female conversation, whether it's a generational, because obviously there's an age gap here. Even things as simple as just different opinions and doing it in a respectful way. I think that's something that's really missing right now in society is people who share their opinions and maybe don't agree. Even if you strongly disagree, there's a way to do that. So I think this will be a fun platform, and we certainly want to make sure that people are getting something enjoyable out of their time with us. And that's why we've got a whole range of topics that we'd like to talk about, everything from personal growth and spirituality right through to more concrete, tangible things like what is going on in the world right now. Environmentalism, you mentioned politics once before, and I'm not as much into the politics. I think there's a lot of heaviness around politics, but sometimes it's relevant. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to have a good old-fashioned table-thumping conversation about politics. So... yeah, it's going to be good. We definitely want to hear back from our listeners. If there's something that you would like to hear us talk about, we would love to get that kind of feedback. We'll give you some information at the end how you can reach us. But starting off as far as putting information out into the world, to make it more fun and light and give people almost some escapism.
Yeah.
right? They're not feeling that it's something heavy, and there's a lot of heaviness out there as far as, what we're hearing from each other and the news outlets and things like that. So
yeah, and then we'll try and make it fun.
Yeah.
A little humor now and again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you like listening to something that's going to be entertaining, maybe you can relate. Maybe you've been either in Corbin's position or in my position. So that's something that's relatable there too. We've got some great stuff that we want to share with you. And maybe from time to time we'll bring somebody in to talk, be an expert on the topics. We've got some great connections, some people that I think would have some very interesting things to say. So that would be another option as well. But it's not going to be a scripted podcast.
No.
I think it's going to be better if it's more organic and just casual.
Yeah. We'll obviously have notes and stuff so we're well informed on the topics.
Oh, you got to do the research. Yeah.
I've listened to some podcasts before where the people that are talking about a certain subject, they don't know, the half of it sometimes. And that can be dangerous when you put it out there. Yeah. So, well informed, not scripted, but well informed, I'd say.
Yeah. Infotain educational? Is that even, can we make that a word?
You can make that a word. I thought that was a word, and I was just nodding my head going along with them, like, yes, that word. No, and I think that's one of our strengths is the differing, the difference between us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be a strong pull for people to come listen to the podcast and maybe want to give a topic or something like that because. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
And I think for people who don't know Corbin, I've had the luxury of knowing Corbin since he was born, but Corbin is the type of person who is very interested in learning other people's opinions, but is strongly committed to how he feels about things, certainly open to listening, but isn't afraid to say, well, that's nice that that's how you feel, but I still feel this way. You're not a pushover, I guess is what I'm saying.
No. Many of my friends will agree with that. But no, I just, when I feel like if you stick to your guns on something that 100% inside that
strong
conviction that you should stick with, I feel like that's what you should do. And obviously, I'm not going to be, that's, the person, the immovable object and the unstoppable force every time with you. We will agree on stuff. I'm not going to go out of my way to be disagreeing with you on everything.
Right.
But there will be the odd topic where we will be, well...
Okay, let's just cut to the chase. We know it's going to be when we talk about Taylor Swift and Kanye West.
Yeah. Mom likes Taylor Swift and I like Kanye.
Actually, I wasn't a huge Taylor Swift fan until I saw how upset you were about Kanye West.
Of course.
How he interacts with Taylor Swift. So I just felt like I had to stick up for Taylor. But that's like a whole separate episode, I think.
I think that is. That's a whole series.
It's a series.
I'll do lots of research.
Be well versed for that episode. But
it'll be more like a court hearing, I'd say.
Yeah, so and there's things that we do strongly agree on. We both love music. We're both open to a lot of different genre of music. Yeah. We enjoy movies. I can remember you as a little kid, being engrossed with storytelling, which is a passion of mine as well. And right now, you're really into your writing and your creativity, your drawing and things like that. So that's exciting to me because I love writing, and that's something else that we share in common. So I think there's enough that keeps it interesting as far as what makes us similar and what makes us different. That at least every time you come back to listen, it won't be the same old, I don't think.
No, it will be a new episode, a new topic, and a new angle, I'd say, every episode. And that's a good draw to have as well. Yeah.
So it's something that I look forward to doing. And even just between the two of us, it'll be a fun dynamic to our personal relationship to say, we've got a mother-son relationship, and then we've got this partnership with the podcast. And even things that we have worked on getting to this point in the podcast. You created the music that we're using for this medium and working together and collaborating with you on what that's going to sound like, because you have a very distinctive, when it comes to this type of thing, the type of music you like to listen to versus the type of music I like to listen to. It's a bit different.
And you created the logo and the design, and you asked me a couple times what I thought, and we both have our, we both
have similar aesthetic there,
but we still had things we could improve upon each other, and that's one thing that we were talking about earlier, where people have different opinions and beliefs, but sometimes if you could listen to the other person and take that as constructive criticism and a positive instead of a negative, like kind of what we did with me having to redo the music a couple times, or you tweaking the logo.
Yeah.
Not to the same extent as like say politics or anything like that, but
I think that's a good foundation that you bring up. I think it's how we interact with each other and how we disagree with each other. And what is the outcome after you disagree? Like some people are really broken after the fact that, well, we had an argument and we disagreed on something. Or there's another perspective where you could say, we disagreed and we're not going to agree on that. No. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're never going to understand why Taylor Swift is right.
We were doing so well.
We were doing so
one episode in.
That's right. It's a one episode podcast and that's it.
Yeah.
But so that's an example of the dynamic that you're going to experience when you tune back into Chats. And we're very excited about this. We hope you are too. You'll be able to get this podcast in a number of different outlets wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, we'll get those platforms up and ready. We love to hear your feedback. Again, I'm more about the positive feedback as opposed to the just outright bashing.
Constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism, exactly. Yeah. So hopefully we will be able to hear back from you soon, and we will have some new episodes up and ready for you to listen to. I'm looking forward to this.
I am as well, and hopefully the listeners are as well, because they don't know what to expect, and we have a lot of stuff coming up.
I honestly don't know what to expect.
Me neither. After how many times you dropped the Taylor Swift bomb on me, I don't know how many times to expect that.
All right, why don't you do a nice wrap-up for us?
Well, thank you very much for listening to this first and very important episode of the Chats podcast. Tune in and keep listening for more chats. And I think, have you given the email yet?
Oh, no. Good point. See, this is why I need backup, because we've got to be able to do, it's like a team effort where I need someone to remind me. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at chatspodcast@gmail.com. That's chatspodcast, CHATSPODCAST @gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes. So, this has been Corbin.
And Sarah.
And thank you for listening to the Chats podcast.